We're back, people, and today we're going to the Miami Dolphins offense versus the Bills. It was definitely a tough loss to watch, but I think there's a lot to be optimistic about, especially about this offense. They looked way better than they had in the previous 2 weeks, and coming into Buffalo in cold weather, I don't think anyone expected them to play this well. It was a tough battle up front. The running game looked really good, which is huge for the upcoming weeks because the next 3 teams they face are more vulnerable to the run than they are versus the pass. I think Tua kind of proved that narrative wrong where he can't play in the cold. Mike McDaniel did a great job making his adjustments. There was a few plays in this game where I think, like situationally, he could have been better with his play calling, especially on third down and shorts. And then Tua overall played pretty damn solid. Probably wants a couple throws back, but receivers had a few drops in this game and his stat line could have been even better. So let's get right into this one. If Mostert runs like this for the rest of the season, the Dolphins offense is going to be just fine because he was running so hard and so decisive, which is huge for this offense because he's such an explosive player, but it just seems at times he was timid to hit a hole unless things were like huge to open up. I really like how the Dolphins went ISO this game and just used a lead back, had Ingold straight up leading for Mostert. They also did a great job with their motions, a lot of motion pre-snaps, which just moves the linebackers right before the snap of the ball and just makes their gap responsibility different. It just makes it a harder job for the defensive line. And then I like how they do this because usually you have the one tech right here and you have the right guard, center, naturally get the double team on him and then climb to the next level. But right here, Hunt just sort of sneaks past him and then he's expecting the double team and he just sort of falls on his face here and Hunt just goes straight to the next level. And then you get the lead and then Mostert just works off of this, reading the leverage of his blocks and making the cut, get back, using that explosiveness, and I just loved how hard he ran in this game. Savon Ahmed too, and then when Wilson comes back, if all 3 of those guys are running hard, this offense is going to be very difficult to stop because the passing game will get opened up if the running game is working and they have the weapons to just be dangerous. Unfortunately, the Dolphins offense kind of beat themselves early on. Like, this is a 3rd and long, and it's only because of a false start. The running game was working, so they're kind of forced to pass here. I actually like this decision by Tua just to throw it away. Don't take any big sacks. He did a better job in this game either dumping it off or just throwing it away, not trying to force anything, especially early on. And right here, he gets a cover 2 look at Tampa 2. Doesn't really see anything that he likes. He probably could have thrown this to maybe Wilson, but this Mike linebacker gains a lot of depth, and the safety starting to cheat over the top, and he knows he has to get rid of it. So he just tries to throw it. Like, he sees the whole shot opening up, but he just puts it out of bounds knowing the safety's too close to it. So I like this decision overall. Maybe he could have dumped it off to the running back, picked up a few yards, but it probably wouldn't have picked up too much because they had the corner playing down in the flat. So overall, not too bad of a decision, but he comes out and starts really getting in stride later in this game. Next drive, it's a 1st and 15. They have another false start. They're really just hurting themselves in this, but this is just a good job by Tua getting the ball out to his check down very quickly. This was a big difference. Like, I know last week everyone's like, he's got to get the ball out to his checkdowns better, which I agreed with. But the checkdowns honestly weren't even open versus the Chargers for the most part. There was only like a couple times the checkdowns were open and there were 3rd and long situations. Here, they run another 2-man concept. They work, the play action behind the back. Nothing is really open down the field. Tyreek Hill's completely taken away. Sanders is finally maybe coming open, but the safety is kind of gaining depth here, and the ball's already out as he's getting open. But this is a good decision. He knows they're getting a bunch of depth. Get the ball to Mostert, sees that he has all this room, and Mostert was so good in this game. Look at this cut out of the catch, like instantly catch it to transitioning back to the inside, makes Milano freeze in his feet, and then you just see that explosiveness. Like, he's such a smooth, natural runner. If he plays like this team is going to look good because Wilson will come back, play harder. And I feel like when one running back starts playing hard, the other one feels like they need to keep up. And like even Ahmed was breaking tackles in this game. And I feel like the running backs have really struggled to break tackles or create on their own. But in this game, it was a different story. All the Dolphins offense made a lot of adjustments with things that they were doing with running the ball, running some different concepts. They still were doing a lot of things they've done all season. A lot of, in breakers, over the middle of the field. This is a great read by Tua, especially they get this motion out to Tyreek and they rotate down into a cover 3 and he sees the safety rotate down to be like a flat defender, get downhill quickly, and once he sees this, he's already getting pressure in his face. He's got to get this ball out quickly, and look at this anticipation that he throws with. Waddle hasn't even broken yet and he hits him right in stride, a perfectly placed ball. Love the anticipation under pressure and just very quick processing right there by Tua knowing where he's going to go with the ball on a 2nd and 10 situation. I really like this throw from Tua, very tight window throw over the middle of the field. No one is open. Again, I mean, the windows have definitely gotten tighter over these past few weeks. This is Trey White versus Tyreek Hill. Would love to see Tyreek, this is the problem with having Hill and Waddle as your main receivers, is while they're so explosive, so amazing, if they don't create that separation, they do struggle in some contested situations. Tyreek Hill did make a couple contested catches later in the game, but also dropped one in the end zone. This is why I would like to see Ezukanma become active, because there was a couple plays Braylon Sanders made in this game that were kind of head scratching, and I feel like in these contested situations, he would be your best chance. And also that was a great play by Trey Wright. He got him perfectly at the catch point, but just need to see these balls start to be brought in at a little bit of a higher rate percentage-wise, because they're not always going to be brought in, but Tua put this where only Tyreek Hill really had a chance at this play right here. White does kind of get his hands in the mix too, but that is a perfectly placed ball based on the coverage, and they just need to start converting these situations. This is one of those 3rd and 1 situations where you would like to see the Dolphins run the ball. This is too many times they passed it. I understand him going for it the first time here, because the Dolphins had been running the ball super successfully. They already had run it on 3rd and 4th and short a few times in this drive too and earlier. So I understand he tries, get him with the play action. And this concept has worked a lot where they go inside and then sit on the brakes, get the whip route. But this nickel plays this perfectly and gets out and just takes away this throwing lane. Tyreek Hill was open, but he's the second read. And by the time, Tua could get to that, it's already taken away to the safety. Tyreek has to sit this down. Would like to see him find the soft spot in the zone. So by the time, this first read's taken away, everything else is not open, and then Tua comes back to it, and he's already getting pressured. I would say Tua mentally just needs to get this ball away. He makes the correct read not to throw this, but now you just got to throw it away, give yourself a 4th and 1, so if you want to take, the opportunity to go for it. But yeah, just need to run the ball more in these short down situations. I know the running game throughout the year hasn't been super successful, in goal-to-goal or 3rd and 1 situations, but I feel like in this game, the running backs were running so hard, they had a much higher percentage of chance of getting it, and then I just think McDaniel was overthinking a little bit too much at times. First play of the next drive, Raheem Mostert has his best run of the year, just running through so many tackles, using that stiff arm, and you can just see how explosive he is, and just carrying this defender for so many yards. And just unfortunately, this play did not finish in a touchdown. We'll watch this, getting him some outside zone, working some motion. Just look at the effects of the linebackers. They have to move pre-snap, and then they're just late to get there. They wash out here. He reads this. He sees this gap open up. He runs through an arm tackle right there. Great job. He does a great job of using these stiff arms while running through arm tackles just to keep himself clean, and then gets skinny through these two guys right here. Squares it himself up, but gets skinny, lowers the shoulder to brace for contact, and then runs through it, and then instantly transitions into a double stiff arm, and you can just see that speed shown off. So Mostert, really outstanding, and really just impressed me in this one. On Twitter, I saw a lot of people saying they just wanted the Dolphins to run in the ball in this situation. They ran the ball on 1st down and only got a yard, and I think in this situation, I understand why McDaniel kept passing the ball, especially because both plays were drop touchdowns. Just because they stopped the 1st down run. I think he could have ran it on this down, and then if he didn't get it, then throw it on the 3rd down. But there's just 2 drop touchdowns. This play specifically was more of a difficult one. Things weren't really opening up. Nowhere really for Tua to go. He feels this pressure, steps up in the pocket, and then delivers pretty much a perfectly thrown ball to Tyreek Hill, and he just drops it. The ball placement doesn't really get any better than that. I think that's the one area where Tyreek Hill has struggled at times this year, is just the contested situations. He's a smaller guy, and it can be a struggle at times, but you can just see that ball placement right there. It's pretty much perfect. Defender doesn't get a hand on it, and he just drops it. And obviously, the Bills fans are throwing snowballs into the end zone during the play. Obviously, some scumbag fans right there, but not all Bills fans are scumbags, obviously. Every fan base has bad fans and good fans, but the ones throwing snowballs, definitely scumbags. Literally cheating during the game. Bunch of hypocrites that complained about the Dolphins' weather while they tried to, cheat during the game. Look at Tyreek Hill getting pelted with snowballs. Just an unfortunate situation all around. I actually think this is a really nice play call from McDaniel, motioning Tyreek Hill pre-snap get everything sort of flowing this way, and they can use Gesicki to set up this pick play for Sherfield to come underneath. It just opens up all this space right here. So this is a really nice play call, and Tua puts it where he's supposed to, low, to protect himself from a big hit if the linebacker's closer. That's where the ball is supposed to be, and it's high enough to where Sherfield can make this catch. Maybe Tua could have placed it a tiny bit higher, but that's where the ball is supposed to be, and Sherfield just can't hang on. It hits him, while he's on the ground, it hits him in the chest, and he could easily have gotten his arms underneath that and just drops it. So 2 drop situations, then they end up kicking a field goal. So that's a at least 4 points left on the board right there for the Dolphins offense. Those corners played pretty aggressive in this one. They were pressing a lot. They were hard playing the outside cuts, the inside cuts, but it left them vulnerable deep, especially Trey White. He was really expecting them to break, and Jalen Waddle just absolutely destroys White here with a little bit of a shimmy, a double move. He gets a free release. White opens up, and he gives him just enough right there. Slows down his pace. He does a great job just varying his pace. Great footwork too, and then that acceleration out of the double move is so impressive. Waddle's speed looked like he might have been hurt or something, like maybe the past few games, because in this game, his acceleration, his speed looked even faster than usual. And Tua makes a good read here. He reads them rotating single high, so he knows he's going to have a one-on-one here on a third down situation. The ball is definitely underthrown, but when your receiver is open by that much, I prefer an underthrow. Obviously, it could have been a touchdown with a perfect pass, but they score later on the drive, so it doesn't really matter. And an underthrow right here is better than an overthrow because it gives your receiver a chance to come back and catch it. Plus, if it's too underthrown, then the corner usually ends up getting PI. And, you overthrow him, and then it's just incompleted, and you're punting. You even saw, I think Josh Allen overthrew Diggs at one point in this game, which would have been a touchdown. If he just underthrows him, it also would have been a touchdown because the corner fell down. So definitely prefer the underthrow there. But, throughout the game, the rest of his deep ball throws were pretty accurate. This one was, his only underthrow. But Waddle, just outstanding play right there from him. I'm putting this play in here just to show why the Dolphins need a tight end that can get some yards after catch. Gesicki has his value in the NFL. I just don't think it's on this team. Gesicki can't get yards after catch. The concepts they use him on are not to his strength. He's a vertical downfield receiving tight end. They're getting him on these outbreakers. It's not really his strength. This is a good read by Tua also, because once he sees this linebacker blitz, he knows the guy that's in man-to-man is this safety off. He reads cover 1 instantly. Tyreek Hill sort of clears this area out. He makes the correct read. Good, quick out, get the ball to him quickly. Accurate throw. And Gesicki tries to cut back for some reason. Either just keep running to the outside, pick up a few yards, or just hurdle him. I don't know, something. He never makes anyone miss. That's just not a strength of his game. He can be a very good player in the NFL when used correctly. It just doesn't fit this offense. And if they had a tight end that can block decently solid and is a good yards after catch, there's some guys in the draft that are like that for sure, multiple guys that'll break down at some point during this offseason. But that's why I wanted to show this play. I just don't think Gesicki fits this offense, and I think after the season they're going to probably move on from him. A 3rd and 9 situation, and this is just the threat of Tyreek Hill. Look what he's able to do to this corner, this safety, how hard he's able to press to the inside and make these guys, this is quarters, and he gets the safety and corner to be so tight. Elon plays way too hard to the inside here, allows Tyreek Hill to open this up. He does a great job breaking, getting out of this. Tua throws the ball with pretty good timing here. He's releasing the ball as Tyreek Hill is breaking, and then delivers a good ball, allowing Tyreek Hill to make a contested catch, and he makes up for it after those 2 drops in contested situations earlier. And just an overall solid play. Nice to see the threat of Tyreek being able to open this up even when he's being doubled, just what he's capable of. So yeah, good all around pitch and catch there. The O-line did a pretty solid job right here, giving Tua just enough time on a 3rd and 9, allowing Hill to run the comeback. The very next play, you get Savon Ahmed's probably best run of the season, him breaking some tackles, showing some nice vision too, because Ahmed has really quick feet and some explosiveness to his game, but his vision's always lacked, and he's always really gone down on first contact. Right here, they work the lead. This is basically what they're running all game with Mostert, the motion. Then you get the lead with the fullback, outside zone lead. He just is reading the leverage, all these blocks right here. He presses up, he cuts up into the linebacker too. This is a great job. You want to press your blocks and then make your cuts as soon as you get as close as possible, because this is how you manipulate the next level of defenders. and then he runs through this arm tackle, makes them like run into each other, the safeties, and then gets into the end zone, even runs through that arm tackle. So it shows some great contact balance there, some core strength. If Ahmed can play like that, it's definitely going to add some value while Jeff Wilson's out. The running backs are going to be very, very important down the stretch, especially when they're on the road versus New England. Probably going to be another cold game. Going to need to rely on the running game, and then that will help open up the passing game and probably the other two games as well. This big Jalen Waddle touchdown was actually a nice adjustment from McDaniel compared to last week, because this play call right here is actually pretty similar. Like defensively, the play call is pretty similar to what they saw a lot last week. Basically, they're running quarters to the top here, this corner, this safety, and down here they're basically running cover 6. But this safety, instead of playing as like a true quarters defender, he comes down and almost robs the middle of the field. This is what the Dolphins were facing a lot last week. So this time they have the number 3 on the opposite side of the field, run the deep cross behind him. Dolphins were taking their shots on 3rd and 4. Tua sees this. Once he sees this safety drop down, he knows he has what he wants, and he's already getting ready to deliver this ball as Waddle's coming in behind him. So great anticipation. Ball is maybe slightly underthrown, but he's just securing this catch. He probably wasn't expecting Waddle to be this wide open with this much space here, because he's throwing with anticipation. But look at this like Waddle slows down a little bit and even jumps at the catch point to secure it. And look at this acceleration out of that. Like, that is elite speed acceleration. Like, Waddle was moving differently in this game. Like, he was playing with a purpose. I feel like everyone on offense was playing with a purpose, which you love to see. I know the loss happened, but you got to be proud of how hard everyone was playing. Like, playing at a different level. They really wanted to beat the Bills, and that's why I have some optimism for the rest of the season. Like, build off this momentum. They're a better team than the next 3 that they face. I feel like they're more talented, and they're all very winnable games, especially 2 of them being at home. So yeah, just really excellent play call from McDaniel, and it's just executed very well. Good job by Tua. You can see how active his eyes were. He just sees it, layers it behind him, and Waddle finishes the rest. A few 3rd down and short situations like this one, where I think it was a 3rd and 2. I think I would have been okay with a run here, but they try to go with the pass, especially versus man-to-man, and they kept trying to throw these outbreakers to the sideline, and just no separation was being created. I mean, if you look everywhere else, nothing else is open at all either. So this is Tua's first read. He probably thinks Waddle can get a tiny bit of separation. I mean, the ball almost even ends up getting picked because Trey White basically runs their route for Waddle there. Like, that's just a great DB play. I think he's playing outside leverage here, so I would like to see them, mix it up, run some more in-breaker, allow him to work to space, because right here there's no space to the sideline. There's so much more space to this area of the field. So yeah, maybe there. I think they could have mixed in a run call. 3rd and 2, it's a little bit risky to run it here, but they hadn't run it in 3rd and short in a while, so. And the box wasn't super heavy. I mean, they were a little bit outnumbered, but I think running it to the right side, they could have had like a 3-on-3 here and let Mostert just get downhill. So yeah, not for, and also, I mean, no one gets open. It's just cover 1 and no one gets open, so can't blame it on McDaniel there for that one. I know I saw a lot of people hating on McDaniel. Has done an excellent job this season, an excellent job. Like, the offense is top 5 in a bunch of categories. It's been way better this season than it has been in season past. There's been a few situational plays where obviously you would like to have that back, but you're facing other NFL coaches. You're not going to win every single play, every single snap, the coaching battle, I actually thought Tua on like play action boot in this game, like getting him on the move, he was very accurate. Like, this ball right here, like, just watch Braylon Sanders. Like, this ball could have been his best ball of the day. Just like this ball placement down the field. Like, Tyreek Hill, probably his first read, he probably could have thrown this because Hill is working away from him, but like with his angle, it probably only picked up like 5 yards, been tackled, and he sees this guy opening up deep. He sees the safety working down to Tyreek, and he tries to take this shot, and Braylon Sanders just right here works back into the corner. He slows down, tries to push off, get PI, and then is still not able to get the ball. If he just keeps running and then sort of uses his body as a shield, like, this ball's completed or possibly even a touchdown. Like, this is why I want to see Ezu Konma, because he's a 6'3" body. He has a much better chance of catching those types of balls. He has the speed for it. He has the size. He has the ability to box out. And I just think he needs to be involved in this offense in those types of situations, because Braylon Sanders has not looked good at all. Then the Tyreek Hill touchdown. He gets the one-on-one look that he wants. He's just looking to the left here to manipulate with his eyes. He's never even going here. It wasn't open anyways. They play, the bunch perfectly. But he's just doing this to hold the safety, giving him the one-on-one, snap back. He sees that Hill is over the top. He's getting ready to throw it, and then he creates even that extra bit of separation. And this is a very well placed ball, over the top, not underthrown at all, thrown even a little bit to the inside, knowing the safety's not going to get there, but away from the corner, and just really nice play. This is where they were burning Trey White. Trey White was playing pretty great in most situations, but when they attacked him deep with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they just burned him off the line and had too much speed to get behind them. So great play there from Tyreek. This is towards the end of the game. I would have loved to see them keep running the ball a little bit more. I understand why they weren't, because they were getting more heavy boxes, and that's what McDaniel was saying. They were still getting more single high looks, but in the running game wasn't always super successful in the second half. But this is a good 11-yard run. Armstead washes out the edge here, climb up to number 30. I believe that's Smythe. And then the left guard gets a good reach block on Ed Oliver. I mean, he's kind of holding there too, but he resets, gets the reach block, and Mostert's able to hit this hole, get to the outside. Another good job using his stiff arm. And just they kept getting these big chunk runs, and they just need to be a little more consistent with these runs, not going away from them. But I'll show you exactly what happens later on in this game. This drive right here is after the big Jalen Phillips strip sack, and this is a 3rd and 1. Right after this, they kick a field goal because they don't convert. This is one of those situations where they RPO, and I would just like to see them run the ball here straight up. Not even RPO, just let him run the ball, because Tua pulls it, he gets unblocked, and he has to throw it quickly. These two routes aren't really open. The Waddle one, he might be able to throw it over the top, but this guy's in his face, so he's got to get the ball out to Smythe. And as soon as Smythe catches it, he's going to get tackled. And this is definitely a play call I didn't like from McDaniel. They try to go back to their bread and butter. This is what, the RPO with the slant, wheel, flat combo that they've been running all season long. Broke it down a million times. I don't like this particular version of it. There's no motion, no action, pre-snap. And I think they just got to line up, get a back ISO, and run behind him, what's been working all game, because you've been picking up at least a yard every single play. And this is definitely a situation where they should not have gotten away from the run. The Dolphins' final offensive drive. At this point in the game, it's tied. They don't get the ball back after this, after they're forced to punt. I actually think Tua looked pretty good on this drive. Like right here, another very accurate throw, play action, boot on the move. Like Smythe not open. Waddle, very tough throw to make. Look at him throw this. Like Tyreek Hill is still behind Trey Edmonds right here, and he's still behind him. And this is just a perfect low and away throw. Protects him from Jordan Poyer. Doesn't really get any better than that. And, another great catch from Tyreek. Definitely improving on from what they saw earlier. But just look at when this ball is being thrown right here. He's even with the linebacker. The safety's coming behind him. It's thrown low and away. Protects him from the hit. So, yeah, just an excellent all-around play. They kind of just didn't really give Tua a chance late in this game with some of the play calls. And this is where I thought McDaniel was kind of at his worst in this one. But wouldn't be too hard on him. Just a couple play calls that I think he would like to take back. Next play, they get the pick play going, and this is where Cedric Wilson makes probably his best play of the year. I mean, this DB actually makes a pretty nice recovery because they pick him here, and Tua probably sees this and thinks like, yeah, I'm going to chuck this ball over. Like, this could be potential touchdown. But number 7 really does a great job of recovering, getting his angle back, and somehow gets over the top of Wilson. But just based on the ball placement, the throw over the top, Wilson, using all those fair catch punts to his advantage, what he's been doing all season, and just going up, getting it, catching it like a punt almost. But this is a really good job giving your receiver a chance, and Wilson goes up over the top. And honestly, almost a really impressive play by the DB with how he recovered there. So I would like to see some more pick plays like this from the Dolphins, because when they've done it, it's worked pretty successfully throughout the season. This play call right here, I did not like at all. They ran the ball on the first down. It only got 1 yard. So I understand it's 2nd and 9. You don't really want to run it here, like in most situations. Honestly, the box is pretty light, so I wouldn't mind a running play. But I just hate the screen call to this side where they're running. They have the guy that's getting screened is in press. And Tyreek Hill doesn't even with how Tyreek Hill plays it, it feels like he doesn't even think he's getting the ball. Because he takes one step and then sort of just sits there. He doesn't even work back towards it. And then Tua throws it to him. So I don't know if there was just sort of some miscommunication between Tyreek or Tua or McDaniel with the play calling. Something was off here, and I think this is a play that kind of just ruins this drive right here, because you lose 3 yards. It's a 2nd and 9 situation. Now you have 3rd and long plus, and they don't even really give Tua a chance to convert on 3rd down because everything was running short of the sticks. Just the last play right here of the game, and like I said, everything runs short of the sticks, nothing really open. I mean, if the refs were calling this game evenly on both sides, this would have been holding on Trey White because this was holding called on the Dolphins all day. Like, Dolphins got called for so many defensive pass interferences, so many holding calls, while the Bills were just getting away with it the entire game. And then, honestly, I know they drop back here. Bills play it pretty safe. They go into a Tampa 2. Nothing probably would have been open anyways, but I would like to see them at least give Tua a shot. I mean, I know they throw the slant here, and if Waddle doesn't get held and maybe is able to catch us at full speed, he might be able to, get upfield, pick up the first down a little bit. But it's just a frustrating game, man. It was really that second down screen that was called that I didn't agree with. I don't know if that was just McDaniel's call, or maybe Tua went to the wrong spot, or Tyreek didn't know he was getting the ball. I don't know exactly. Can't say for sure because we weren't in the minds of them. But overall, pretty impressive performance from the offense. Definitely a good turnaround. Like, this Bills team, you're facing a top 3 team in the league. They're top 5 on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. The defense looked really bad in the first half for the Dolphins, but stepped it up in the second half. I think the offense looked pretty good throughout, running the ball, throwing the ball. They were picking up big chunk plays when it mattered, and they had some nice big third down conversions, but just too many third and shorts that they weren't able to get, and those drop touchdowns also early, and just drop passes killed them. That led to field goals instead of touchdowns in those first 2 drives. But overall, I'm optimistic for this season. I think playoffs is a real possibility, especially they just got to win probably 2 out of the last 3 to get in. I mean, depending on which 2 out of 3 they beat. Beating the Jets is the most important for sure. The Packer game, if they lose it, they still would get in, beating the Patriots and the Jets. So it's not super important, but I think it would be nice to build momentum. And I think that's probably the easiest game on their schedule, just playing the Packers in Miami. And I think they match up pretty well with them on both sides of the ball. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.